Economic Freedom Fighters is holding its first meeting of the year to chart the way forward. Yesterday, the party held a picket at the Sports, Arts and Culture Department in Pretoria, demanding the reopening of sports stadiums in 7 days. The EFF says the closure of the stadiums has also robbed hawkers of their livelihoods. Let's bring in Natasha Phiri, SABC News reporter. She's covering this. Natasha, very good afternoon to you. What's on the agenda for this meeting?
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Blaine, and of course to our SABC viewers. Unfortunately, the EFF is running behind schedule. Currently, the party's CIC, Mr. Julius Malema, is actually briefing or giving his political reports to EFF members or those Central Command task team members behind closed doors. Of course, members of the media are not allowed inside that interview, but as soon as, that is done, one of the EFF officials will be briefing us members of the media here outside. And you just indicated, Blaine, that the EFF will be meeting to chart a way forward for the party this year, but also to take stock of its performance last year at the 2021 local municipal elections. And Blaine, you do know that their support had actually grown from 8.19% in 2016 to 10.4%. Just last month, I beg your pardon, earlier on this month, Blaine, on January 8th in Durban, we heard the EFF leader, Mr. Malema, just also thanking and giving that Siyabonga rally to EFF supporters, and just basically saying that the party is going to prioritize, its growth, especially heading to the 2024 national elections. Also, this week, we saw the EFF leadership was quite busy. On Wednesday, we saw the leader of the EFF, Mr. Malema, just visiting and conducting an oversight visit there at various restaurants, especially around the Mall of Africa precinct, just checking how many foreign nationals are actually employed by these restaurants versus how many South African nationals are actually employed. But of course, we saw there the Labour Mr. Thulas Nxesi condemning the EFF's actions, saying that it really was untoward for an EFF member to actually visit, these restaurants. But of course, the EFF saying that there is nothing untoward about that visit. It is their duty as members of parliament to conduct such oversight visits, especially if it happens in a peaceful manner. You mentioned the fact that our colleague yesterday, Offenses Timo, had actually covered that EFF picket to the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, asking and handing over a memorandum, asking for stadiums to actually be open. So these are just some of the issues that the EFF is actually taking stock of. It's also a very important year for the EFF this year, Blaine, seeing that their provincial people's assemblies actually need to sit and, be conducted. The EFF will be giving us, a specific date as to when those, provincial people's assemblies will be taking place. We know that in 2019, the People's Assemblies, the National People's Assembly, I beg your pardon, took place there in Nasrec. So these are just some of the issues that the EFF will be prioritizing, particularly, especially like I mentioned, their growth at the polls, especially in KZN. This is a very crucial, province for the EFF. It has been making strides within that province, and of course the man at the helm of that is the Secretary General of the EFF, Mr. Marshall Dlamini, who is actually attributed to the growth of the EFF in that particular province. We know that before 2021 they had about 59 councillors, and post the November elections, I think they have 150 councillors, in KZN, including 2 mayors, deputy mayors in the Umhlatuze municipality. So these are just some of the issues that will take, prominence in the EFF. Of course, we will be posing them about other issues of national importance. So as soon as we actually talk to those officials, we will be giving you live updates as to what the EFF has to say. Back to you in studio, Blaine.
Natasha Phiri, live for us there in Johannesburg. Thank you.